Welcome once again to Breakfast Central. It's now time for election countdown. It's 32 days to go. Nigeria's presidential elections will hold on the 25th of February 2023. Now, with campaigns still ongoing, collection of PVCs, of course, still ongoing till the 29th before, of course, INEC gives further orders. INEC has authorized centers and a United States-based election monitoring organization, National Endowment for Democracy, stating that this year's polls will be unpredictable or completely different, like a town hall. Well, are you ready? Here on Breakfast Central, we're going to be looking at the danger of selling your vote. I did speak a little bit about this yesterday. It's a menace to the society of every election across Africa, with a particular focus on the former giant of Africa, Nigeria. I am Osaogi Ogbo, and welcome to Election Countdown Nigeria. Welcome once again. Now, this is Election Countdown Nigeria, an all-new segment on Breakfast Central focused on Nigeria's presidential elections, and there are loads of conversations to be had. A cross-section of Nigerians are calling for a ballot revolution, and this is as a result of what has been termed vote buying that is quite common during elections. Now, what exactly is vote buying? Now, vote buying, of course, occurs when a political party or candidate dispenses money or resources, which could be food items or goods, and other things, to a voter or group of voters in the upcoming elections, maybe during the elections, with the expectation that the voter, which might be you, votes for the actor handing out monetary rewards or votes for the party handing out monetary rewards. Now, vote buying is when you are given bread, onions, maggi, a bag of rice, 2,000 naira, 3,000 naira. Lately, we've heard it go as high as 5,000 naira to vote a candidate into power for the next 4 years. And of course, the Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has joined in the chorus by urging President Muhammadu Buhari to direct the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Abubakar Malami, and appropriate anti-corruption agencies to identify and arrest politicians allegedly buying PVCs from poor Nigerians and bring them to justice. But it's not the first time that we'll be hearing of, calls like this. Over time, we've heard about other well-meaning Nigerians and, bodies, encourage the Nigerian government to ensure that they prosecute people who are involved in vote buying and prosecute people who, of course, make the elections look a little, flawed. But of course, they have proposed a 15-year jail term or a 5 million naira fine for anyone convicted of vote buying in any election in the country. The House is also proposing a 20-year term or a fine of 40 million naira for persons convicted of ballot box snatching during elections in the country. This is as the Independent National Electoral Commission has stressed the need for the prosecution of sponsors of electoral offenses in the country as a means of curtailing the menace. Now, joining us on Election Countdown Nigeria is Naimeka Obiari, who's a political and current affairs analyst. Thank you very much for joining us, and good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Now, we've moved through different stages with regards to Nigeria's electoral process. Since 1999, of course, which everyone celebrates as our return to democracy, we did see stages where there were ballot box snatching. It was expected in almost every election cycle, but that seems to have reduced. Now, let's talk about vote buying. In 2023, do you still expect that it would play a major part in the electoral process?
Vote buying is the only way crooked politicians will be their last card to see how they can buy the votes. INEC and President Muhammadu Buhari, they've done a good job in putting in place the legislative and the structural processes to ensure that the integrity of our election holds. BVAS has come to play. Before now, there are many ways they could manipulate the electoral system. One of the ways they used to do it in the past is the issue of result padding. Because at the polling booths, before the BVAS and the new Electoral Act, the numbers that we are used to determine the voting population in every polling booth is the registered number of voters in those polling booths. But now BVAS and the new Electoral Act have made it impossible. Accredited voters are the number that can be used. And at the polling booth, it will be uploaded to the INEC server.
Yes.
So moving to the ward center where you will change numbers will no longer work. So the next thing will be to buy votes, because that's the only way they can influence. You saw it in Osun State, it happened in Osun State. They were paying as much as, between the two big parties, APC and PDP, they were paying as much as 20,000, 10,000 to voters. Even in Anambra, it happened in Anambra during their governorship election. You saw people on video rejecting 15,000 naira from APC just to make sure that they don't sell their. But of course, Nigeria is a country that is deeply immersed in poverty. 1.3 million extreme poor Nigerians.
Yes.
You cannot stop, it's like buying their conscience. So basically, INEC will have a role to play in this regard. CBN will have a role to play in this regard. The security agencies will have a role to play in this regard. Even the citizens will have a role to play in this regard. We have laws in Nigeria that are not being respected. We have the Anti-Money Laundering Act that stipulates that an individual cannot carry at any point in time more than 5 million naira in cash.
Yes.
And of course, we have 176,824 electoral polling booths. And to be able to buy enough votes, each of these political parties, some of them we've heard rumors that they've mapped out trillions of naira. But CBN has actually helped us, because with the new naira redesigning, it will be difficult for anybody to mop up 500 billion naira, 1 trillion naira to go across the polling booths to go and buy votes. Because one, remember before the CBN note resigning game, we had over 3.2 trillion naira currencies that were supposed to be in the system. Only thing that was about 520 billion. Over 2.76 trillion. We are out of circulation. Nowhere to be seen in the system. Which simply means these monies were either in the hand of bandits, politicians, or criminals that have stored it away in their soccer ways. Now, with the new redesigned note, and which I'm praying the CBN should not shift a minute longer than January 31st, CBN must stick to its gun. January 31st, you're not bringing your old naira, it becomes obsolete. Now, that is done. So whatever the CBN, because CBN said they printed about 500 million new notes. If you use the highest denomination, that simply means there are going to be about 500 billion naira new notes in circulation. If you use the middle denomination, which is 500 naira, it's about 250 billion.
Yes. And
the lower one. So which simply means CBN have taken the right step. The next thing will be enforcement. Because if you see what is happening, the bankers has a role to play here. If you go to ATMs today, you will still see that they are still dispensing old notes. In fact, I'll give you an experience. I won't mention the name of the bank. I went to one deposit money bank along Ikoyi to go and withdraw new notes. To go and use the ATM. I didn't see new notes. I went into the banking hall. I asked them, where are the new notes? They said they've not received it. I said, it's a lie. I said, do I have the new note? They said, no. I picked up my phone and said, I'm going to call the director of Consumer Protection Department in CBN. I'm going to call your bank MD. If I don't see new note, this branch is in trouble. You won't believe it. There and then, the new notes came out. Which simply means that the branch offices of banks should be monitored. The branch managers of banks should be monitored. The CEOs of banks have a role to play here. And the citizens too, they have a role to play. Yeah. Because the law says, I have been in the city and understand how it works. A night before the election, some of these parties going to buy voters will distribute those monies to local government areas, to ward agents.
Resident electoral officials in the right.
All right. Yes.
So Mr. Barry, we're going to take a very short break. When we come back, I would like you to finish your thoughts here and then also talk about the Labour Party candidate who says, take their money, but vote for me. You know, how reasonable is that? We'll get back to that. Stay with us on Election Countdown Nigeria. Welcome once again. This is still Election Countdown Nigeria, and we have more for you this morning. Of course, we're talking vote buying this morning. What are Nigerians saying about vote buying and selling our votes? We quickly share something with you. Femi Adefisori went around town to get the reactions of the electorates, and this is what they had to say.
Why would I sell my vote? Cannot sell my vote. You understand? People need to wise up. See, we are tired of this family government of a thing.
My vote is priceless, so I can't sell it. Even if you give me 1 million naira to sell my vote against my conscience, I will not sell.
Even 1 million cannot buy my vote. 10 million cannot buy my vote. Okay.
And if I sell my votes and if something happen in future, I'm to be blamed. But if I don't and things turn out well, I'll be proud I voted. So I can't sell my votes.
I can't sell my vote for now, and it's not possible I should even sell my vote for any reason, because I think it's high time the youth wakes from their slumber that it's more we fight for what we want than what will be given.
No amount can buy my vote because my vote is my conscience, and no amount can buy my conscience.
Yeah, my name is Tony, and my best advice to Nigerians is never to sell their votes. Because if you sell your vote, you've thrown away your rights, you've compromised your future. When you sell your vote, you can't even sanction the people you vote in because you've collected money from them.
My name is Isa Sunday. I will not sell my vote because my vote is my strength, is my right to take a decision in bringing a good leader to the people of the land.
My name is Tokwe Bilu, and I will not sell my vote, and I'm also imploring and begging the general member of the public not to also sell their votes for peanuts.
Hi, my name is Ayanyenka Shegunes Johnson. I won't sell my right, I won't sell my vote for any reason.
My name is Martins. Okay, I will not sell my vote. My vote is my right. My vote is my power.
My name is Esther Ogunaike. My vote is my right. I can never sell my vote.
Okay, I am Afolashade Oyediro. My vote is my right. I will never sell my vote.
I no go sell my vote. My vote is my right. My right is my right. Don't sell your vote. Don't sell your right.
A cross-section of Nigerians there sharing their thoughts on vote buying and selling their votes. We're still here with Nnameka Obiariri this morning. So I want us to, you can quickly react to that,
Okay.
and then also talk about the Labour Party presidential candidate who has advised his followers, if they offer you money, take the money, but vote, for Labour Party and do the right thing, according to him.
Okay. Just like I was trying to explain, every Nigerian has a role to play here. I will take it levels. Central Bank of Nigeria has to sit up. They need to be on the bank, watch out for the bank, bank managers, most important. The Central Bank has a list of the branch managers of every branch of Nigerian bank, even the head of operations. The CEOs, they need to watch it. We've seen this, we've had situations in the past where bullion vans were moved to people's home. On election day, no bullion van carrying money should be on the road on the day of election. The banks, in fact, the Central Bank of Nigeria should know this, even those that provide the services. Then, on this issue of citizens and the security agencies, the law is very clear. Don't allow anybody move more than 5 million naira at any point in time. And I've tried to explain to you how they work. 176,000 plus electoral polling booths. Some of these big banks, parties, have already mapped out provisions. It's there, it's in the system. About 2 million per polling booth. We're talking about between 176 billion naira to about 300 something billion. And these monies will be moved a night before election, or even today before election, to the local government areas, to the wards, to the polling booths. And there are agents. The security agencies must try to infiltrate these guys, and the citizens too. Because one, citizens' enforcement of the law must also come into play by other parties, even the smaller parties. You infiltrate them, get to know the agents of these parties. You have the right as a citizen working with security to confiscate those monies and arrest them. Serious arrest is allowed and permitted. Number two, the banking system. Some of them, you heard some of them collecting BVN and account number of voters and collecting their PVCs. The plan is, if the cash buy will not work, they will do transfers. Bank staff also have a role to play. We have very decent bankers in Nigeria. There are some few corrupt people in every system. You will see the corrupt elements. Those who are not corrupt, those who want a new Nigeria within the banking system, should also be able to blow whistle. When they see unusual transactions and transfers from a particular account, maybe 1,000, 2,000 flowing in 50, 100, they should blow the whistle to the CPD of Central Bank of Nigeria, or even inform the security agencies. Because This is the only way we can protect the integrity of our election. INEC, Buhari, they've done enough to ensure that people's rights are not trampled upon. Their powers they are allowed to exhibit their powers and their franchise, which is their votes. The only way these people can circumvent it is through vote buying, and the processes are there. They've already set it in place. Like I said, even at the polling booths, if you see anybody whispering or trying to move cash, arrest him as a citizen. No. You have every right to arrest him and hand him over to security agencies and prevent him from committing crime. If a criminal walks in here with a gun, as a citizen of Nigeria, I have the right, if I'm able and have the training, to tackle him and take away the gun from him.
It should be the same thing with...
It should be the same thing with electoral malpractice, which is even worse than armed robbery.
Quickly speak on the Labour Party presidential candidates' views on vote buying.
To be honest, it happened in Anambra State. People were giving money. I will advise Nigeria to reject their money. There's not even what you should do. If you see them sharing the money, you don't need to collect it. Arrest them. You are performing your civic duty as a citizen of Nigeria, because you've seen a crime scene. You have seen a crime being committed. You have the right to arrest the person sharing the money and hand him over to the police. Nigerians must be ready to defend their votes. Yeah. Nigerians must be ready to defend the integrity of the elections in Nigeria. It's a role every citizen must play. See anybody sharing money, see anybody distributing money, arrest him.
But are we there yet as a people? Because from what you're saying, this is how it should be. Bank managers, the Central Bank of Nigeria, resident electoral commissioners, ward chairmen, local government chairmen, everybody really should have the mentality that elections, are too pure, should remain pure. But we're not there yet as a country, are we? And if we're not there, then what next? And it's also interesting or wishful thinking to expect that everybody, as we currently are, because they say that Nigerians, when you push them to the wall, they break the wall and keep going back. So you'd expect that there's a level of suffering. Petrol is currently selling 350 naira a litre in certain places, even higher. You'd expect that there's a level of suffering Nigerians will go through, that they will say, this particular time, we will not sell our votes, we will make sure that we put in the right person. But are we being realistic with these expectations?
My brother, this 2023 is an unusual year. Nigerians have not been at this point before. The issue of Nigerians being pushed and go to the world will not apply in 2020. If you go into the street, you just did a sample of voters and you saw their responses. Nigerians are aware, from Yenegua to Damaturu, from Enugu to Pambegwa, from Guzo to Okigwe. Nigerians are aware that 2023 is a make or mar year for them. And I tell you, you will see a remarkable difference. People are alert. Nigerians are going to they will not allow their rights to be trampled upon. Like I said, if there is any one legacy Buhari will be remembered for,
yes,
is the new Electoral Act. And he can also go ahead to redeem his name by ensuring that the security agencies, their heads, and every other person that is involved are made to live to their responsibilities. He must ensure that the Commissioner of Police, the DPOs, the DSS officials, the INEC officials, and I'm very happy that the INEC chairman is committed. But INEC chairman is not omnipresent. He's going to work with the regional electoral commissioners. Yes. He's going to work with local. So every Nigerian must be ready to monitor and to apply the law at any point. Like I said, unlike before, where people are allowed to move cash. See, if any billion van is on the road on the day of election, Nigerians will confiscate it. That is how bad it has become. You've seen the movement. And of course, the Labour Party candidate P2B has brought in a lot of changes in the discourse. People are no longer going to fry akara on the roadside. People are no longer carrying people should have given the feeding bottle.
We didn't see trader money.
There is no trader money. And I can tell you, a lot of changes have happened. And Nigerians are ready to vote and defend their vote. Vote buying is their last kick. And every Nigerian, if you see any bullion on that road, arrest it. And the security agencies also have a role to play here. What will it benefit a policeman to collect 100,000 naira bribe and allow somebody to move 10 million? Well, you can pick 10 million and arrest the person. So, and they need to also, the police need to also be trained to understand their role. There is no politician big enough to be allowed to play games with the future of Nigeria.
Yeah. I want your views, for our Nigerian viewers. to help understand the danger of vote buying? Because they might get that 10,000 or 20,000, but do they understand the consequences of selling your vote for any amount?
Let me explain to Nigerians. Assuming they decide to buy your vote with 10,000 naira, and assuming that the number of voters in every polling booth are able to buy is about 200. At the end of the day, they will have spent about 360 to 400 billion naira to buy your soul. But look at the danger. These are the same kind of people who every year steal about 16 trillion naira of our crude oil resources. So as you're selling your vote 10,000 naira, bear it in mind that you're losing 16 trillion naira that are stolen every year from our crude oil resources. As you're selling your vote for 10,000 naira, bear it in mind that you're creating the atmosphere for kidnappers to thrive, because we have 1.3 million extreme poor Nigerians. If you allow the same set of people to buy your vote, by next year, December, the number will go to about 150 million.
Yeah.
So Nigerians must be conscious. You cannot use 10,000 naira to sell your 16 trillion naira. So reject their votes, their monies. Vote for your preferred candidate who is not part of the system. I am not here to campaign, but we know that the last 10 years have been the worst in the history of Nigeria. Who are the parties that have been ruling Nigeria over the last 10, 15 years? Say no to the same. You cannot continue to do the same bad system, bad thing, and expect to see a new result. There should be a solid paradigm shift from our way of doing things. And that should be reject their, don't even collect their money. And if you see anybody sharing money, arrest him. It's your citizen's right. In the banking system, if you see any of your colleagues trying to transfer monies arbitrarily or whatever, or you see any unusual movement to the banking your account, blow the whistle. It's your right. You will be protected.
Do we have, if you've also taken notice of the electoral conversations in different regions in Nigeria, do we have vote buying popular in every region? But what's the element of control that we have in the northern part of the country compared to the south?
Is the poverty is everywhere in Nigeria. Yes, we can say that extreme poverty is more in the north, but there is poverty everywhere in Nigeria. For example, in Lagos State alone, we have 2 million out of school kids, which is actually the highest in Nigeria. Not even Jigawa or Katsina State comes close.
Yeah.
So it is everywhere. You know, there is this elitist mentality that people have. Let me tell you, even from NDIC's record, out of the 112 million accounts in the Nigerian banking industry, only about 0.6% has deposit of about 500,000 naira in them. 198 million Nigerians cannot feed without begging or borrowing. So that is how bad it has become. So poverty is widespread across regions, across religion, across tribes, across ethnic groups. So it is perverse across Nigeria. So the only way we can start redeeming the poor from poverty is to stop those that have pushed them into poverty from continuing in power. So as many as are able, like I have promised myself, nobody will buy votes in my electoral booth. It won't even happen. So the elite, the middle class, the intelligentsia, as many as can count their left from, because even the illiteracy is part of it.
Yes.
The literacy level in Nigeria is not even up to 42%. So most people are not even aware of the dangers. So they need to be enlightened. So as many as are truly educated and enlightened, we should not be passive. Every one of us who are patriotic, who truly love this country, must be active, must stand up to stop the impunity anywhere you see it.
Absolutely. All right. We're going to come back to Nameka Berry, but as always, we introduce you to the candidates that are contesting elections in Nigeria in 2023, and this is Know Your Candidate. Now, as we count down to the elections, how many of the candidates do you know? Today, we'll bring you another political party, inundating you with all that you need to know. Know your candidates. Today's party is the Accord Party. The logo is yellow in color with a thumbs up. Of course, that's the Accord Party. The presidential candidate is Professor Imumole Christopher. And of course, he is full name Christopher Irene Imumole, who was born on the 5th of September 1983. He's age 39. He's an educationist a university professor, a serial entrepreneur, a business mogul, and a Nigerian politician. He's the founder of Joint Professional Training and Support International Limited, JPTS, and Unique Foundation, which is a non-profit and non-governmental organization. He is also the presidential candidate on the platform of the Accord Party ahead of the 2023 Nigerian presidential elections. In his manifesto, he said there are areas that need to be given urgent attention to put the country back on the path of sustainable growth and development, some of which is the issue of fixing about 56,000 abandoned projects littered all over the country. He also said he intends to complete and revive declining or dead industries to serve as a source of job creation and also formulate policies that will encourage local production and manufacturing. Now, of course, a quick reminder to everyone to please go ahead and get your PVCs. You have between now and the 29th. And, of course, know your party logos and candidates. And, of course, also a reminder to not sell your future by selling your votes. I'm not sure why we still need to say this in 2023, but, you know, here we are. All right, final statements from Mr. Nameka Obiari.
Like I said, 2023 is going to be a watershed. February 25th, 2023 will determine if Nigeria is going to move forward or to regress 50 years back. Like I said, the only legacy that Buhari will be remembered for is this new electoral act. And if he wants to redeem whatever is remained of his started image, he needs to go ahead to ensure that the integrity of the 2003 election is well protected by ensuring that every of the officials from INEC to DSS to police play their role actively. And the citizens, including the security agencies, must realize that Nigeria is at a crossroad and it involves them. You have seen the activities of unknown gunmen in the southeast, Boko Haram and ISWAP. In no time in the history of Nigeria have we lost the number of security agents that we lost over the last 7.5 years. So they are not spared. The poverty has not left them too because they are part of the poor region, poor group. So the security agents also know that their welfare and their own survival is at stake. The police, the army, the DSS, the Air Force, the Navy, every part of them should know that their own future, their own lives, their own welfare is also at stake. Because I am one of those advocates that said the Nigerian police, the Nigerian army, they are poorly remunerated. And for them to have been experiencing this kind of thing over the last 15 years, this is the first time for them to stand for what is right, allow credible people to be elected across all the tiers and levels of governance. That's the only way they themselves can also benefit from the new Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Citizens from central bank to the banking industry to those in the field, go collect your PVC. Come out that day in mass. Let the turnout be not less than 60% of registered voters. Vote and defend your vote. If you see any untoward acts, anybody trying to buy votes or misbehave, make sure you collect that money and arrest the person. It is your right to do it. You are allowed by the laws of Nigeria to stop a crime in every crime scene.
Absolutely.
And again, at the polling booths, make sure the agents inspect the beavers. Make sure the numbers are reading 000. After the election, make sure the result from that polling booth is uploaded before you leave that center. And this is, every party should have strong situation rooms and monitoring groups to ensure that the integrity of the 2023 election is thoroughly and fully protected. I am excited of what is going to happen. We are going to see a new Nigeria. And I pray that we see a new face, just like Obasanjo said, just like Babangida said, just like every other well-meaning Nigerian. If you are above 62 years, you have no business being the president of this country.
Thank you very much, Nameka Obiari. Always very interesting having you join us. And of course, that's the wrap for Election Countdown Nigeria for today. Tomorrow, of course, we bring you another very, very interesting talking point.